Hi guys, so as you can see there, you will always self-sabotage. That's life. Why? Simple answer is because we do not believe in ourselves. So by the time we reach our teenage, we've heard the word no nearly 400 times a day. We hear the things like, no, don't do that, no, don't touch that, no, you can't do that, no, that's impossible, no, don't be bloody stupid. And we wonder why we grow up with a little bit of lack of self-confidence. Negativity, the use of the word no and other negative words will affect your attitude right into adulthood. So you'll grow up, you go to school, the pattern of speaking and learning is already set from those earliest days. So by the time you actually reach the workforce, you're probably speaking in a very negative language already. Changing those negatives is not easy, believe me, but it can be done. A little bit about me. At the age of 7, I was diagnosed with grand mal epilepsy. Now, grand mal epilepsy is a long-term, lifetime illness, and I have to take tablets for the rest of my life to try and control it. Now, that at that first stage plagued my school life, obviously. So, depends on who you ask, but I left school with no qualifications, and whether that was because I got the epilepsy or just a lack of application when I was at school. Depends on who you ask, but I left school with no qualifications, which was fine to start off with, but as you go along and you start looking for a job, you realize actually that wasn't a good idea. You probably should have applied yourself better, or you should have tried harder to try and get something, because I couldn't even find a job flipping burgers in McDonald's. But eventually I did join the YTS, and as a trainee gardener I did that for 2 years, which was great. But in the summer it was great, in the winter not so great. So then I joined Granada TV as they were, and that's when my attitude towards work really changed. So I got promoted to the head warehouseman within 2 years, but unfortunately Granada TV closed down and I had to look for an alternative. So I went to work for Park Lane Windows. I started at the bottom, even though my dad owned the company. I started right at the bottom. He gave me a broom and said, get on with it, son. Sweep the factory. And that's what I did. Around the age of 21, 22, I had a nervous breakdown, bad nervous breakdown. I had very, very serious anxiety, serious fears, and it took hold of me. But that's when I joined a certain multi-level marketing company. But I failed that, but I did start a business in life coaching because of it, because what I got from that was the self-development. And eventually I started up canine coaching, which is where I am right now, and that's where I'm concentrating on with that. But I still do my life coaching, I still work on my life coaching, I still work on myself, and I still do self-development. At certain points, I ask myself, really, this is too hard. I told myself this is too hard at certain points in my life. Everybody tells themselves that it's too hard. And at certain points, you must ask yourself, has it really become too hard? Or is it simply your negative self-talk? Letting your negative self-talk take over can become a very toxic mix of emotions. This is the point where you must be careful not to self-sabotage. But thankfully, you don't have to listen to it. You don't have to listen to that voice in your head. These people didn't. Tony Robbins was rejected by 12 banks before eventually securing a $1,200 personal loan he needed to meet to go and attend Jim Rohn, who became his mentor and set him on his path to motivating millions of people across the globe. Colonel Sanders, as we all know, was rejected hundreds of times, and he finally launched the Kentucky Fried Chicken in the US and only made his fortune when he was in his 70s. We all know the J.K. Rowling story, but she was rejected by 12 publishers before she became the first author to make $1 billion from the famous Harry Potter series. This one makes me laugh. Michael Jordan didn't even make his high school basketball team, but didn't stop trying, and without doubt became one of the most iconic athletes of all time. The common denominator in all these success stories and many more is that they never gave up on their dreams. Dreams are where it starts. Dreams are limitless. Never limit your dreams. Dreams are unchallengeable. Nobody can challenge you because it's your dream. So nobody say, no, you can't do that. Why? It's my dream. I can do it. Dreams are motivational. Dreams are also spiritual. So they make you feel good. And dreams are your power. It's what drives you, what makes you get up in the morning. They power you. Making it a reality, though, you've got to remember, to make a dream a reality, it does need to be realistic. So setting unrealistic goals will just lead you straight back down to the negative talk and self-sabotage. So don't do it. Setting smart goals. When I was full on in life coaching, we used to talk about smart goals. So we used to talk about specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Specific goals must be, a goal must be specific so that you can know when they've been achieved. Yeah, so that's the whole point. To get a specific goal, you must answer the following questions. What is it I want to accomplish? Why do I want to accomplish it? Who, if anybody, is involved in me achieving my goal? Which constraints and requirements will be involved in achieving this goal? So by phrasing your goal properly, you run through these questions. And that's what I said. If you phrase these goals precisely and specific, you then run through these questions. What is it I want to accomplish? Why do I want to accomplish it? And you write it down. Who, if anybody, is involved in the goal? You need to write those people down. Which constraints and requirements will be involved in achieving your goal? Well, you're the only person who'll know that because you know what your goals are, and you'll know the constraints and the requirements to get it. Make your goal measurable. So there must be a concrete criteria that can be used for measuring your progress towards achieving it. Ensuring that your goal is measurable will make it much easier for you to keep track of the progress. Measurable goals must include precise amounts of time, money, dates, etc. So then you can measure your degree of success. It's got to be achievable, goes back to that. Achievable, realistic. Make sure your goal is possible. Don't set unrealistic goals. But in the same way, don't set a goal that are too easy either. Because easy goals are just easy to do. That's not really a goal. It's not really a challenge. Your goal should be both realistic and challenging. But make sure when you consider all the constraints and requirements that it is still achievable. You must be able to set a reasonable strategy that will help you achieve your goal. Your goal must be relevant to you. The biggest thing, it must be relevant to you. Because then it puts it in more significance to you. So your goal should support other goals and be in line with all your passions and your mindset, as that just makes it more relevant. Now, with this part of setting the SMART goals, you must answer yes to the following questions. Are you the right person to accomplish the goal? And if you're not, then you're setting the wrong goal. It's not your goal. Will this goal help you achieve happiness and fulfillment? Well, only you can answer that. Does the goal seem worthwhile? Does it seem like it's the right time to achieve this goal? Again, it comes down to, if it's not the right time, you're setting the wrong goal. Is this goal in accordance with my efforts? And again, only you can answer that. Goals need to be grounded within the bounds of the set time. So time bound. You need to have a time limit of when you're going to achieve it. When a goal is time bound, you've generally got to be able to answer these questions below. Okay, so when I was in life coaching, I used to ask this question. Once we've gone through everything, I used to ask these questions. When? When are you going to do it? When are you going to achieve it? What can be done today to move you closer to your goal? What can be done in 6 weeks from now to move you closer towards your goal? And it's a time, a date, yeah, and the answer, the time, the date on every single one of these. What can be done 6 months from now? Answer, date. You have to make it relevant, because you're not setting it in concrete. Don't think you have to achieve that goal at that specific time or that specific date, but it makes you how can I put it? It makes you aim towards something. It gives you it makes you accountable to this goal by putting a time frame on it. So thank you for listening. Now, this is very important. So focus on the performance, not the outcome. So focus your goals on the performance, not the outcome. Avoid negative self-talk and self-sabotage. It's important to focus on the performance-related goals rather than goals that purely focus on the outcome. So don't focus your goal on what you want. Focus it more on how you're going to achieve what you want. So concentrate on this question. What will you do rather than what will happen as a result? Again, focus your goals on what you'll do rather than what's going to happen if you do it. All right, thanks very much, guys. Lovely to kind of speak to you. Lovely to put this out here. If you like it, share it. Share it with people who think like who you think will enjoy it. And I shall speak to you very, very soon. Take care now. Bye.